I'm Andy Pilgrim with Automobile Magazine. Welcome to another edition of A Pro Racer's Take. And today at NCM Motorsports Park, we have a vehicle with the longest name of any car we've ever tested, and it won't even fit on the Monroney apparently. It is the Porsche Panamera Turbo S e-hybrid Sport Turismo. I'm definitely taking this one on the road and on the track. Because the Panamera is an e-hybrid, we're going to start at the front, but there is some other stuff going on at the back. We'll get to that. It's not a 911, right? But we know there's something going on back there. This, I think it's really nice packaging for the 4-liter V8 twin-turbo engine here. Not sure you can get much done from the top, huh? I mean, really, really tight quarters there. 550 horsepower for this engine. Now, we really have to go to the back to figure out a little bit more about the horsepower, because the total is 680 horsepower. So we'll give you the full effect. How about that? Awesome. Yes, I'm wearing the beanie cap because it's 37 degrees today. It's freezing in here, yeah? All right, we have a very nice bag for the charging cable. It is a very substantial charging cable. So under here we have a battery pack. The battery pack itself weighs about 287 pounds, and it can kick out 134 horsepower, which can keep this car going, which weighs 5,279 pounds. It can keep it going for 31 miles, and under e-power alone, it has a top speed of 86 miles an hour. You've got 49% of your weight up front and 51% at the rear, and I think that's really going to help on track with the way this car will probably rotate, the way this car will handle on track. Looking forward to trying that. I've been looking at this brake caliper for a couple of days now since the car's been here. I'm pretty sure it came off a Boeing 747. It's huge. It's a 10-piston caliper the Porsche put on this Panamera. Now, I understand the car weighs 5,279 pounds, and you certainly need huge brakes. The rotor itself is 420 millimeters. I just love it. It's just a beautiful piece of engineering. On the rear, we have a 410 millimeter rotor with a 4-piston caliper. The Panamera runs on 21-inch wheels. The Michelin Pilot Sport 4s are 275/35/21 up front, and a 325/30/21 in the rear. So this kind of amuses me here. I mean, it's kind of cool, I think. Nerd, nerd, nerd. Check that out. I like that. So as we do, we like to look at the interiors, yeah? And this is quite the interior, this one. You've got a basic Porsche steering wheel. It's round. They don't go with the flat bottom, flat top that a lot of manufacturers are going for now. You've got the nice paddles, fairly substantial for the PDK, the 8-speed transmission. And this side, you've got some stuff that deals with the screens, and this side, you've got buttons that deal with the phone use. And that's about it. But there is so much other stuff over here to talk about, switches and buttons and dials, and also in the back. And we're going to talk about that now. There's so much stuff on this infotainment system. I'd need an hour to talk about it. We'll just go over briefly, but on this left side here, you've got the main buttons. You can go through the different drive modes and set up the individual things there. Climate, front and rear settings. You've got apps, find your charging stations nearby, things like that. And then hybrid is kind of fun. The hybrid one here is you've got the e-hybrid auto, you've got e-hold, e-charge, the sport, e-power, sport plus, and it just shows you how much is left on the e-range, which says 18 miles, and then obviously sound and settings there. But there is so much stuff here. I am absolutely not qualified to look at it while we are not parked. You've got your seat settings here, whether it's heated or cooled, and also you can turn the TC off here, and also you can set the suspension here. It's such a cool back seat. It's like being in a limo. It's like being in a sports limo, I guess. It's really good. And this whole center section here deals with how much temperature you want in your seat, or whether you want it air conditioned or vented. Also, you can recline this seat, which is totally sick. I mean, you could definitely go to sleep in here. This Panamera is the Sport Turismo, so in a way it's kind of like a wagon, okay? Like a sport wagon, station wagon, things like that. We do have a lot of room in it. The hookup for the electric. We have a very cool little mechanism here, and this flips out there. And then we hit this button in this one, hit this button on this one, and we've got over 6 feet of room inside. There is a lot of room here. I'm going to go get changed, and I'm going to take the Panamera on track. Looking forward to this. It's going to be emotional. It's on e-power. I love the Z-Power thing.
Panamera coming out of 23. Fair amount of sliding goes on with this car. When you have a car that weighs 5,279 pounds, the Michelin tires are very, very good, but the PS4s are struggling with this much weight when you're on a racetrack, of course. But they do a super job. You're going to see that, you're going to actually hear how quickly and early I can get back on the gas with the all-wheel drive. The hybrid just adding to the traction and the pull out of the corners tremendously well. It runs hard. I mean, over 130 miles an hour coming into turn 5 is serious. And it did exceptionally well. 95, 94 miles an hour through the apex min speed is excellent. Trying to turn it in here, have to woe it down. It doesn't really want to turn in that well, and the stability control is fighting me because I do leave one level of stability traction control on when I do these laps, just so it's not me turning everything off. But I don't like to turn everything off for these videos because a little insurance never hurts. Turn 10 here shows a perfect example of how viciously you can get the power down and how it pulls out of there so well with the all-wheel drive. I did manage to rotate it coming into deception there, that worked. And here we go, over the tabletop. Actually almost spins the tires a tiny bit there because of the momentum and the mass going over the top. Couldn't go much faster than that through there because it was very hard to get woed down up the hill because of the speed and again the mass of the car. But the brakes are not fading at all. It's just the tires are just screaming with the ABS. About what I expected through 18, 19, coming through the sinkhole. Very good job through there. And we just got to get a clean run again out of 23. Thinking around 220 for this car. Because it is a heavy car on a racetrack. It's not its natural place to be. Oh, 218, 68. Well done. Good job by the Panamera. Excellent. Ignore that 142.8 one up there on the best lap. That was just me cutting the track before I started the hot lap. And talking about its natural environment, let's take it on the road. I just had to take the Panamera on a regular road drive because obviously this car is not designed for the racetrack, even though it's already proven itself to be pretty capable on the racetrack. There's the classic yellow and red Corvette Museum spire right there. Reasonable acceleration, it stays in E-Power. This car drives so well on the road. The steering, it has a lot of feel to it. You don't move the steering wheel, the car doesn't move around at all. It just stays where it's going. You move the steering wheel a tiny bit, the car goes exactly where I want it to go. I like it. I mean, this is like a technological wonder, this car.
First thing I want to say is I thoroughly enjoyed driving the Panamera. It is a driver's car. It feels really sporty. Obvious practicality, you can put the family in here, take them across country, groceries, DIY, whatever you want. On the racetrack, I did not expect this car to do a sub 2 minute 20 lap time. Incredible capability on track. Yes, $215,000. I mean, that is the price of a 4-bedroom house in many parts of the United States. But you know what? If you can afford this car, you will not be disappointed.